On the eve of the SAT, the authorities notify me that I need to claim the body of my father, who has died tragically in prison. My mother comes to me and says she wants my father to take the blame for her first love, Joe Anderson, for a second time. Where's your dad? Joe accidentally caused a patient's death during surgery. Ask Andrew to go to prison for him again. Consider these 2 prison terms as compensation for that slap he gave Joe last time. After this, I'll return to the family and stay with you and your father. I don't even look up as I mumble absent-mindedly, Dad is dead. Mom lets out a scornful laugh and locks me inside a sauna room. Clenching her jaw, she presses the button on the remote control in her hand, turning the temperature up rapidly. Then, she sends an angry message to my dad to threaten him. She writes, Andrew Miller, how dare you teach our son to lie to me? I'd like to see what kind of stunt you're trying to pull. If you don't want Chester to get hurt, show yourself right now. My skin turns bright red due to the burst capillaries. I pound desperately on the door, trying to explain and beg for help. But Mom is busy comforting the frightened Joe and pays no attention to me at all. As my body becomes severely dehydrated, I let out a bitter laugh. I sneer inwardly. Mom, Dad and I are making it up to your first love with our lives. Is that enough? Every time my hand slammed against the iron door, another layer of skin tore away. Blood beaded from my fingers. My throat burned like fire. Still, I forced myself to hold on to that last bit of strength, repeatedly begging for her to hear me. Dad really died in prison. You tortured him to death. Are you going to do the same to me too? Tears wouldn't stop falling. The extreme dehydration left my throat so dry that it bled whenever I spoke. Mom ignored my pleading, staring at Dad's chat window. She gritted her teeth. Very well, Andrew. Look at what you've turned our son into. It's one thing that you made him lie and convince me you were dead, but how could you make him say things cursing himself? Her phone was tossed aside, my cries for help only fueling her anger. She turned toward the sauna room, yelling impatiently, Enough with the act. The heating system inside is broken. You can't even adjust the temperature. You learned all these tricks from your father, didn't you? I'm only doing this to force him to show himself. Mom was consumed by rage, screaming until her face turned purple. Joe Anderson timidly stepped forward, gently patting her back to soothe her. Forget it, Winona. Don't let Andrew go to prison for me. After what happened last time, he must still hate me. I don't want to come between you two. Mom immediately calmed down, patting his back, comforting him. Hey, it's not your fault. Andrew was just being suspicious and thinking the worst about our relationship. You two are different. He's already served time once. There's nothing worse he can't handle. And besides, I already made arrangements for him inside. He's actually living pretty comfortably in there. Almost every inch of my skin was marred with burns. Breathing became a challenge. Hearing her, I laughed until tears rolled down my face. Was the so-called arrangement she made meant to have Dad beaten to death? When I went to collect his body, it was covered in fresh wounds and old scars, mixed with dried blood. Several of his bones had been broken and pulled out. Even when he passed, he died with his eyes wide open. Now, he had to suffer Mom's insults after death. The thought of Dad made my choked sobs grow louder. Mom clicked her tongue impatiently. I must have been too nice to them. Andrew refuses to show up just because he's throwing a tantrum, while Chester actively goes against me. The sauna room is just dark. There's no reason for him to cry like that. I couldn't believe her words. Too nice? Was that why she made Dad take the blame and go to prison for her first love? Was that why she left me alone in that barren villa, ignoring me for 3 long years? It was like she had completely forgotten she had a son. She never sent money, never made herself reachable. I had to earn all my tuition and living expenses by working as a food delivery guy every night after class. Every day, I counted the days, forcing myself to keep going. I kept telling myself everything would get better once Dad was out of the slammer, and I got into college. Yet, after all that waiting, all I got was Dad's miserable passing and Mom choosing her first love yet again.